Well, good evening, trustees and members of the community. It's such a pleasure to be with you this evening. And trustees, we often get the question, it's been 8 weeks since June 27th, our last board meeting. Is this on? Yeah. We often get the question, what is it that you all do in the summer anyway? And I do understand that question, because when 18,140 students go home, there is this wondering about what in the world happens in the district. And certainly we miss every one of our students while they're off on summer break, and yet a lot happens in the district. So trustees, as we normally do, we'll do 2 summer updates. Summer update part 1 this evening, and then part 2 on September 12th. We are still at this moment scurrying about, and I notice that many on our team are working around the clock to get ready for opening on Tuesday morning. So on September 12th, we'll cover half of it tonight, and on September 12th, we'll get the other half. But I think a great place to start is with Rec and Ed programming. Ms. Bacalor is here if you should have questions, and she is actually going to give a little bit of a report on September 12th. But I wanted you to see, trustees, that as many students leave the district in their traditional classrooms for summer, many of them find their way right into a Rec and Ed summer program, a summer camp, a summer class. About 225 summer camp sessions have occurred over these 9 weeks of summer. They've had a nice increase in their registrations. About 101 youth sports teams, and you can see there almost 1,400 participants in baseball, softball, and here's a great photo of t-ball. We just love the t-ball as well. One of my favorite events is Safety Town. I loved getting to visit this summer. This Rec and Ed team processed 736 rising young 5, kinder, and first graders. So these students are 4 through 6 years of age. They do this for many weeks there at Dickin, and you can see the children learn all about safety. That picture in the middle is the little trailer where they learn about escaping when there's smoke. And I want you to know I did not remain with them for the smoky part of the event. I escaped ahead of that. So, but they did a great job. I actually waited outside the trailer for their escape. So they did a beautiful, beautiful job. And I just want to commend Ms. Bacalor and the incredible team. And while we're on this, extend a big thank you to AAPD, AAFD, and all of the folk who work with us. Trustees, I think you received it in the summer update, but the bike group, and we'll honor them more thoroughly next board meeting, who fitted every single child for their very own helmet, and they purchased those helmets for the children. This is a big deal. And you can see in the far left photo, this young man was demonstrating for the class what the firefighter will look like if he comes into your home, he or she comes into your home to fight a fire, so that they know not to be afraid, that that's a good thing and what it looks like. So Safety Town, I've just scratched the surface again. I'm the preview to Ms. Bacalor's full report on September 12th. We've also been busy with physical classroom environment. Trustees, we concluded. I want to give a shout out to Ms. Dawn Linden, Mr. Emil Lautzana, and all of our team who've been involved in this. All of our high school programs were fitted with new classroom furniture, and Slauson and Tappan also. It was a total this summer of 249 classrooms that were transformed And I'm excited next Tuesday to actually see students in this brand new furniture. And trustees, that really brings to a wrap, very close to a wrap, the promise that we made back in 2015 to re-equip and update our classrooms, which at that time, trustees, you remember the photos, some of our furniture was quite old and much of it in disrepair. ITD, Ms. Marilyn Colligan is here with us this evening also. ITD has been very busy supporting 20 summer programs. So far, over 1,000 teacher laptop rollout replacement, and they've got a few hundred teachers left on their class rosters to get through on their replacement. They've wired up the Mitchell and Wines modulars so that they will be connected, and also got over to Freeman Environmental Center, our newest facility we're very excited about. And then they conducted recently, very impressive, our annual Ann Arbor Technology Academy. And I heard from so many teachers how excited they were, and saw lots on social media about the classes and the national presenters, and more than 350 seats filled during that academy. Here's a picture of what the rollout looks like. Trustees and members of the community, you can't imagine how complicated it is to I can't imagine how complicated it must be to get all the old laptops and to issue all the new laptops. I heard from Catherine Glye at Arbor, and teachers are busy folks, but I always appreciate it when they take time to send an email, and Catherine Glye did so. She's a kindergarten teacher at Arbor. She said she just wanted to take a moment to express her gratitude and appreciation for the amazing job that the IT team of Ann Arbor Public Schools performed with the rollout of new laptops. Her scheduled rollout time, she appreciated the organization of the stations. She said she thought it was the pre-K teacher in her that she just loved the idea of centers and how smoothly that teachers could move from one center to the next, depending on their personal level of readiness to do so. So folks weren't held back. If they were ready to go, they moved on. They received personal attention, guiding the staff through the workroom, and then that staff was available for questions and additional support. I really like that part because I always need to hang around the longest and ask the most questions, so I'm always happy that they accommodate that. The handouts were spelled out, offering step-by-step directions, so she just wanted to offer her thank you to the team, and Marilyn and your tremendous ITD team. I just wanted to say a public thank you for that tremendous work. Great job. We also offer, as you know, trustees, you had a nice update in the spring, a wide number of academic programs, and Ms. Leanne Dickinson-Kelly oversees this entire division, and I often during the summer just needed her to point me like a compass to what was going on that particular week, because there's just so much going on every week. So we'll take this in parts. The high school summer program was 334 students attending classes. There were 18 courses offered, and 27 of our staff members, and we appreciate them. We've sent them thank you. While lots of folks are on trips and vacations, they're there making sure that our summer program goes well, and we very much appreciate that. At A2 Virtual, about 367 students participated in 419 courses, and we've done the research on that group. The majority of that group is taking coursework to advance. There are a number in that group, we'll get the exact percentages for you, who are taking to gain credit that they maybe have lost. And then I'm always excited to hear from parents of special needs students who use that A2 Virtual as a way to keep their students engaged with the learning, and not just our students with special needs, but also other students, just that idea of preventing summer slide back. And so they appreciate the opportunity to maybe go back through a course that they already took, just to make sure they're not losing ground. We did also have community resource courses as well. Was delighted, trustees, to get to be a part of the ELL summer program celebration. At the end of that program, 122 3rd through 8th grade students that was located at Thurston, Logan, and Clegg. And then also the summer, Scarlet Summer ELL program, 136 4th through 8th grade students, and lots of U of M interns and staff members. And this is, I believe, our 6th year of coordinating the ELL Summer Specially Dedicated Program. We were delighted this year that the Scarlet team created a bird sanctuary. Trustees, if you've not seen that video, I didn't bring it this evening because of being sensitive for our time, but I will forward you the link to the video. This is their work in the Scarlet Woods, and also be right directly behind Scarlet. They created a bird sanctuary. You can see the tree stump classroom that was created down here on the right. You can see the magnificent crowd that we had for the dedication of the bird sanctuary. They made their own bird houses. They worked directly with the gentleman who oversees the Scarlet Woods, and they actually made brochures for folks to use the Scarlet Woods, and they painted a beautiful murals. It was a great endeavor that brought together all facets of reading and writing and English language learning in an authentic and meaningful way. I was so delighted the evening that I got to join them for their celebration that Dr. Kathy Reichel was present, who oversees the programming along with many of her U of M partners. This is a very big deal. And most importantly, I want to point out Cindy on the far left there. She is a rising 8th grade student, and she's showing there the brochure. Each of them took a different bird and did the full research and created a brochure about their bird, and then they also worked to do the bird watching and watch for their bird in the Scarlet Woods. Cindy did an excellent job. She's going to be a tremendous leader and a tremendous ELL learner at Scarlet in 8th grade this year. We also had academic programs at elementary level. Almost 300 students participated in the Elementary Summer Learning Institute, heard so many positive feedback and remarks. Trustees, I can forward emails. Ms. Heather Halliboo, correct, was our principal at this program, along with AAPS staff, U of M interns and faculty. Big crowds at the open houses. In addition, just over 300 students at the ELA and math camps along with their staff, and I'm delighted that 164 of our students with special needs benefited from the extended school year program. So getting services into that summer to ensure that we're taking care of their needs. Now, folks also asked the question, not only of the superintendent, but also of teachers. So what did you do all summer? And we know that teachers are busy. As Mr. Smith said earlier, they're busy traveling and supporting students in their exchange programs. They're also busy in professional development. Here's just a smattering of the approximate hours that were offered, and have some good feedback from teachers over the last 2 days over tremendous offerings that we have had today and again tomorrow. More than 1,000 hours of professional development occurred for our teachers over this summer. This is what we facilitated. In addition, there were a number of programs that our teachers went away to, and most recently, Mr. Hattie, Dr. Hattie at the ISD. We had a huge crowd of teachers and leaders at that program as well. One of the busiest areas of our organization over summer is our human resource team. They are busy, and I want you to know all of our numbers are preliminary because we are still in the heat of the hire at this moment as we count our students, and on Tuesday in particular, once we see how many really show up for school. But we've hired a number of teachers, processed over 4,600 applications. We've been busy. Our human resource team has shifted because our groups are so big, and we want our teachers, our new teachers and staff, to get their help in real time. So they're now doing new hire orientation weekly, so that our new hires don't have to wait to get their information. We've also rolled out, trustees, a new online benefits program. I'm very appreciative for that because I remember when I was a teacher always trying to find time in the day to run the form down to the central office, and I'm so delighted that they can do all of that online now. We certainly have a team standing by if folks need additional help. They've added 2 additional modules required for our district training for all of us, and that is mandatory reporter training has been updated, and also the training with EpiPen. The hiring continues, particularly with our para-educators in those areas where we're still refining exactly where we'll be. Very delighted to share with you, trustees, and they'll be here live and in person on September 12th to meet you. But we're very delighted to share 4 new building leaders. Ms. Colette Ivy and Mr. Shanu McCoo are not new to their campuses because both of those individuals served as interim principals over part or all of last year. In addition, this summer we added Ms. Robin Coker and Mr. Dante Watson at Pattongill and at Hazley. Again, we'll be delighted to introduce these folks in a couple of weeks. One of the most visible signs that I'm just thrilled to see at every elementary as we move around town to schools are our beautiful new playgrounds. And you know, trustees, we're not finished yet. Miss Linden and our elementary principals, Mr. Laudzana is supporting. They're still working through the process, but we love that each playground is unique. It is designed by the students, the staff, the parents right in that school, and we want it to be the center of the neighborhood where children come and play and families gather. One of our priorities in Ann Arbor that we've heard repeatedly from our community is that value attached to the neighborhood school. So we want this to be the place where the strollers and the dog brigade go and where they hang out and where our children do well. So you can see just a little bit of the new equipment there. Mr. Demetrio is going to show you more of that shortly as well. I couldn't resist, though, just giving you a peek. Yes, that is a purple Pioneer tennis court. Marios will show you more. It's one of 30 plus that we're going to finish by the 3rd week in September. It's not as glamorous as the tennis courts, but paving is a large priority in the district. Yay. And all of us who've seen those uneven walkways and the areas that deteriorate from the salt in the winter, we're so happy when the paving goes in. Trustees, I don't have the exact number, but I think it's somewhere around $3 million invested in paving over these 2 years that we've really been focused since our community supported us with the sinking fund upgrade. And Mr. Demetrio will share more of this with you, but it is a big deal to get to our paving projects. As you know, trustees, we're adding 4 classrooms, a collaboration space, and restrooms at 2 of our schools, Mitchell and wines. You can see here just a glimpse. Again, Mr. Demetriou is going to entertain you in a moment with kind of a play-by-play so that you can see it as it rolls out. Trustees, even now, they are waiting for us to finish the meeting tonight. They left the electricity on here so that we could hold our meeting, and after this meeting, they'll be back working on wiring that. It's being wired, but they needed to have the electricity off. So it will be off very shortly for part of the night and tomorrow, and we'll do our part, right? And the inspections are occurring Friday, and we're delighted to get folks into those beautiful new classrooms. One of the other less glamorous, but trustees, you know how important it is because you get the emails in the night. I get the phone calls when water is coming out of places it should not come due to roofs. And I couldn't resist this impressive photo. I don't know what they're paying those guys on the top of the Huron Dome, but isn't that an amazing photo? I'm so delighted with the work that Mr. Laudzana, Mr. Rice, Mr. Demetriou, and the team have accomplished this summer, and they'll be coming up shortly to share with you as well. But trustees, years ago, I launched the idea of creating more sparkle in our buildings. And in those days, we really just meant clean it up and put a coat of paint. And yet, because of the leadership of the board and the support of our community and the amazing work of the facilities team, I want to share with you, trustees, these buildings have never looked better in my 6 years. I will share with you, we're not even close to finished. We have a lot more work to do. Our average age is 65 years on our buildings, with 5 buildings preparing to celebrate their 100th birthday. It's complicated to keep a 100-year-old building operating well. So we have work to do. I do not mean to declare victory on this. I just simply want to honor and acknowledge the progress, and our team has been working round the clock to get done what we've accomplished this summer. In addition, trustees, another area where we're showing great summer progress, we are now, I don't want to say the number because I'll be wrong, but we're right around 94, I was going to say right around 100, so a little less than 100 brand new buses in the last 3 years. When we started this, the average age of our fleet was 12 years, average. Some of our buses at that time, the parts were no longer being made for them, so we were getting recycled, refurbished parts. At the end of this, we have one more bus order coming. Mr. Demetriou will be bringing that in September, and then we will finish out this endeavor of brand new school buses. President Stead was talking about new school supplies, and I do thrill to the new school supplies and the beautiful children arriving. And another great sign to me is to see these bright yellow, beautiful buses out. I was out yesterday in the neighborhood and noticed the buses were practicing right around 3 o'clock. I don't know if you noticed, but they were pulled into the lane here and it winds, and it just made my heart warm to know that we were practicing ahead of time for the very precious cargo that we'll be carrying on Tuesday morning. More than 18,000 students will be reporting to our classrooms come the day after Labor Day. So again, I can't adequately thank our amazing facilities team led by Mr. Demetriou and Mr. Laudzana. These are just a couple of pictures, and I promise you, trustees, I've not left out the bad pictures. I send you those too when the water's flowing and it doesn't look so good. But these are the kinds of hallways I've seen over previous days and weeks. The buildings look good. We still have lots of work to complete, but we are making progress. I want to just share that, as you know, trustees, our theme for the year is A to Engage. we thought that there was no better time than the fall of 2018 to think about this concept of full engagement. And we believe full engagement occurs with our children, it occurs in our community, at our state level, and at our national level. We don't get to mail it in. We've got to do the work of engagement. So this is the Bryant Pattengill group that I was delighted to greet yesterday morning. They looked great, and so did their building. So as we've been saying over the previous days, ready, set, engage. And these are students at one of our camps, and they're learning about rocks. Is that correct, Ms. Bacalor? And they're learning about rocks through their favorite superhero, and you'll learn more about that in the near future. I know you can hardly wait. Just as a second part of our summer update, Mr. Cluley has put together the Twitter feed, and we're not going to stop too often here. We just want you to get a nice feel for some of the many great photos and things that have been happening across the district. So each year, trustees, we begin with a video, and I just want to acknowledge Mr. Cluley and Mr. Scott Nadeau for the work that they did on this video. So you'll see A2 Engage. The video was debuted yesterday morning at every single school at the request of our teachers who found getting to Pioneer and parking and getting inside and doing an event and getting back to their schools pretty much took a half a day. Our trade-off has been to issue a district message and allow folks to begin in their schools. And by and large, our teachers and principals just really appreciate being able to use that time in the building. So that's why the production of the video. So we'll do this video and then get on to the countdown clock next. So thank you. It's a great day in the Ann Arbor Public Schools as we join together to celebrate the opening of a brand new 2018-19 school year. Welcome to each of you. We are so pleased that you are here with us this year. As we unwrap the gift of this new school year, it's an excellent time to focus in, to gain clarity on what matters most in our work together for children. Lead, care, inspire aren't just what we do. It's in our very DNA as an AAPS organization. These core values represent who we are. We are poised for a year of breakthrough. During this 2018-19 school year, we will focus on engage. Engage. You may wonder what exactly we mean with this idea of engage. We may consider synonyms such as to enthrall, to involve, to focus attention on, to be drawn in such a way that extrication is difficult. In short, when we engage, we are all in. When we consider how best to engage in service to our children, we focus on our critical mission of ensuring equity and opportunity for each and every child on every day of school. And now is the time. We will discover together what engage means for us as individuals, on our school teams, and across the entire organization. Engage is the collective promise we make to our children, to each other, and to our Ann Arbor community. We are aware of the profound impact that our daily work can have on students, not just today, but far into the future.
Everything in teaching and learning is guided by relationships. So we have to start strong, get to know our students, love on our students, and once we're there, bring in all of the great pedagogy that we have.
I like playing with the kids, and the kids like having fun. And basically, it's all about learning and having fun.
I think like the kids. I try to put myself into a fifth grader's shoes and think about if I would really like this. Am I gonna be really motivated to do the best for myself?
I always try to make it relevant to them. I think if they can relate what we're learning to something in their own life, it helps them to get excited about it. I like to do a lot of collaboration. Learning is social, so kids love to be together and collaborate. So a lot of turn and talks, a lot of group projects. Using technology, they always like that as well.
If I notice that they're off task or aren't interested in what I'm teaching right now, or at that moment, I'll have them get up, stretch, walk around. I have them collaborate. There's a lot of collaboration going that keeps them engaged when they're working with their peers in the classroom. And just try to keep it fun.
I stay engaged by trying to learn something new, every day, hopefully, and definitely weekly.
I listen to my students and we build on our interests together, and they teach me new things, and we combine their interests with games and collaboration and discussion in the classroom.
Students tend to stay really engaged because of the hands-on learning that we do. That means that we are really learning new concepts and new skills all the time, and then we're really quickly putting those things into action.
I find it so meaningful and powerful when I get inspiration from my other colleagues. So going to visit their classrooms, seeing what they're working on, and always making sure that I am staying positive in my words and in my actions.
Staying excited about teaching isn't hard when you remember that you're doing it to see that look on their faces when they figure something out. So I just try to look forward each moment to finding a way to facilitate that for kids.
I plan lessons that are active, where students are involved in doing things. I try not to talk a lot, but rather facilitate learning.
We all do the same thing. We make sure that we're engaged in the content with our kids, that we provide opportunities for our students to master the content and keep working at it until they do.
To engage, we will consider the ways we deliver a consistent message of hope and optimism, ensuring that our classrooms and our schools are safe and welcoming places for all. When we engage, all our students, regardless of concerns or situation, social emotional, immigration, LGBTQ, poverty, special needs, second language, physical differences, or family trauma, all our children are welcomed, embraced, and served with love. To all our families and staff, we deliver the warmest welcome. We ensure a human connection. We serve as a living, breathing message of engage. A together. Engage is powered through moments of human connection and relationship. During this 2018-19 school year, I know that we will engage in the face of our challenges. We will engage to resist the forces that would marginalize any among our children or staff. We will engage our commitment to equity, inclusion, access, and opportunity for each and every child. We will engage A together for our more than 18,000 Ann Arbor Public Schools children, for all children. Our 2018-19 story will be written starting today. Thank you, and let's make this our best year yet. Ready, set, engage.
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 I am engaged.
I am engaged.
I'm 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 engaged.
So again, very appreciative of Mr. Cluley, Mr. Scott Nadeau for their work on the video, and special thanks to all of our teachers who stepped out to talk about engagement, and so we appreciate that so much. We go back to something we keep an eye on all throughout the summer, and Miss Hilton's got it here for us. We are down to 5 days and 11 hours and 37 minutes. Engage, yeah. And I know that countdown clock creates shortness of breath on the part of my team because we have a tremendous amount of work still to accomplish before the bell rings. We are most privileged to have the bell ring 185 times during the 2018-19 school year. That's if there are no snow days, 185 times. We consider every one of those a beautiful and precious and sacred opportunity to make a difference for each and every child that walks through our doors. So I thank you, trustees, particularly for your patience with the time on the superintendent's report and on the summer report. Mr. Dimitru is coming to offer a facilities report. I know that not all of you can get out to every building, and so we strive to bring the buildings to you on some of these end of summer reports so you can see some of the amazing work. You do the job with the budget and to vote these projects and to get them approved. And I like it when you're able to see the fruits of your labors and of your efforts.